Hello there guys, it's Joey. So I am behind, always behind. I've lived perpetually racing to the videos, racing to the videos. But this is one video that I really wanted to do, and it's been over a week since I actually wanted to do it, but I finally found a minute to breathe and basically talk about a book that I purchased and I've had on my wait list since the first one, and I'm super excited to talk to you today about the second book of Crystal Spells by Ember Grant. The second book of Crystal Spells by Ember Grant. So this is the second book, this is the first one. If you haven't seen my review on it, there is a review on it. I loved this book. And I loved it so much that I pre-ordered this one the minute it became available for pre-order. I've had this on pre-order since October last year, and we had a bit of a skirmish in that Amazon decided to send it to the old address, which was thrilling, despite having changed my address and all that rest of it for Amazon. But that's Amazon's fault, that's nothing to do with this book. And that's where I got it through, so you know, I bought it through Amazon, there you go. And basically I really want to talk about this book because I think it's really good to celebrate when you really freaking enjoy somebody's work, and this I really freaking enjoy. There's parts which perhaps are a little bit more simplified than I would like, but I think it has to have a level of accessibility. I think that's a good thing. It does actually feel like it continues from the first one, so if you haven't got the first one, go and get the first one first. And by that I mean I'm going to talk through the chapters and things with you. So chapter 1 is The Salt of the Earth. Now chapter 1 covers different kinds of salt and salt lamps. Yeah, and salt in magic. That to me feels a little bit like it's simplified. The first chapter feels quite simple to me, and I think the reason for that to me is, and it kind of dawned on me as I was reading through, I was like, everything else feels a little bit more detailed in this chapter. Why is that? And that's because it's in here as well. It's like a continuation, like a sort of appendix, if you like, to what's in the other book already. So you know, I think you kind of need the other two. But what we shall say is there are salt spells in here. So let's find a good one. Crystal water spell. Our bodies need salt, yet it is possible to consume too much. It's beneficial for the body, and there are many health remedies using salt. If you've ever gargled with salt water to rinse a sore throat, I know I have, you know how well it works. It helps with sore gums and toothaches too. Many people even use Ceylon rinse for their sinuses. Disclaimer, home remedies should be not replaced from professional advice. One technique is to make Soleil water, saltwater elixir that has health benefits. The soul method is the inspiration for this spell, and then it goes on and tells you how to do the spell here. I'm not going to actually read it all and do that because I really want people to purchase this book, but in terms of the salt spells, there is a subtle salt protection spell, a protection bundle, protection bottle, banishing elixir, fire and banishing spell, salary spell, crystal water spell, romantic bath spell, salt lamp purification ritual. And that's a really great thing that's in this book. There are rituals in this book which I really love, and obviously when you get to a certain point in your path you probably don't need to be told how to do rituals, but if you are looking to incorporate crystals a little bit more into your ritualistic practice, and I know that we've just had the YouTube Pagan Challenge all about crystals, and I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to do my best to do it tomorrow because I'm running out of time. I'm running out of time for everything. But it is really good to have like ideas. Now the second chapter, chapter 2, is probably my favourite, and this is why. Crystals and tarot. Crystals and tarot. Crystals and tarot. So she gives a very specific you know, these are my choices of crystals. If you don't like them, then choose your own. Disclaimer. However, she basically gives some keywords for each of the, I think it's just the major arcana, and the minor one is given in the suits. So, for example, the Fool, and gives keywords for it. She suggests Bornite, also called Peacock, or Herkimer, Diamond, Pearl, Soapstone, and Zircon. And then questions to ask yourself and magical uses. Right, so I'm not going to do all of those because, for obvious, you know, I want you to have a look. However, it is worth mentioning, I'm going to find the Death card because I think that's one that I slightly disagree with in terms of crystals. But, right, yeah, there's Death. Oh no, Death was pretty good. Death included Labradorite, which is my favourite crystal, and Death is my favourite tarot card. Maybe it was Strength I didn't agree with. So I was super pleased with that, and Death's always the first card I go to. Right, maybe it was Strength. Okay, right, so for Strength she gives Hemorphorite, Rutilated Quartz, Tiger Eyes, Sodalite, and Smoky Quartz. Those are not crystals that I would particularly go to for Strength, personally. And this is why I think it is important when you're reading books such as this to realise that there is an element, and there's always going to be an element, of personal choice. So for me personally, if I was going for the first crystal that I would probably go to for Strength is this. This is a Fire Agate, and it's so gorgeous. That was a bit weird, but you know, enjoy my insanity on camera, but why not, you know. So it goes through all of the major arcana, and then at the end we have spells and techniques, ways, and it includes things such as using your birth numerology, as in the adding up your birth date, your birth month, and your birth year into a single digit, and then you know which card of tarot applies to you in that sense. So it talks about that. Mine's the Hermit, if you're interested. I think. Pretty sure. Pretty sure it's the Hermit. Which is funny because the Hermit is actually my Virgo tarot card applicable as well. But so, given that I reject all of that and go for Death cards every time, it tells you how awkward I am as an individual. Right, and then there are simple spell guidelines. So there is a simple spell for Strength here, and it talks about combining numbers, the Strength card, certain crystals, the number of crystals being appropriate to the number of the tarot cards. So here 8 quartz crystals, and then choose stones from the list that she gave. She would personally choose Smoky Quartz as they're associated with her sun sign. I wonder if that's why perhaps I didn't feel that I would choose those as Strength. Maybe, you know, bringing your sun sign into a Strength card is quite important, because it's, you know, 8. So it's kind of Leo-y and Lion energies and fire energies. So maybe it's how you best associate those, perhaps. And then there's, you know, meditation here to enhance magical practice. The Fool, an opportunity spell. The Chariot, a manifestation spell. And then it goes into tarot elemental spells and meditations. So it talks about elemental associations. Now, again, see, Garnet is here for the fire. I would have gone Garnet as well for a fiery one. It's more fire and earth, it's more sexy than Strength though, I think. Okay, so we talk here about a chalice meditation with a water element. And so that incorporates, you know, chalice, Irish folklore, water, the Ace of Cups, and then crystals associated with it. So it's a really nice way of doing it. Oh, and she does court correspondences. So she does pages, knights, queens and kings. Obviously, depending on which tarot set, you might need to tweak that slightly, because I work a lot with the Wild Unknown, which doesn't use that setup. It uses daughter, son, father and mother, which I prefer, actually. I can't say I always prefer it, because sometimes I do really like the king-queen dynamic, but I really like the mother-father, son-daughter dynamic within the Wild Unknown Tarot. So you might want to tweak slightly, you know, that's what I mean. You know, it's obviously magic should be a personal discovery, a personal application. And then it actually talks about, you know, cleansing decks with crystals and connecting to decks with crystals and things such as that. And the tarot chapter is my favourite chapter in the whole thing. So then she moves on to special quartz points. And this is really nice because there are actually images. So it sort of tells you what the different points are and what they would, a vague sort of description of what they might look like. And this book is largely to blame for two crystals really coming into my life quite a bit. One is aura quartz, which I will talk about more next week, and the other is druzy quartz. And because of druzy quartz came up quite a bit at the same time as aura quartz, and at druzy quartz I ended up getting a moon pendant in druzy quartz. Can you see the shimmy? It's totally doughy, it's totally shimmy. Right, so I'm not going to go through all of those again, because I do want you to check out this book if this is the sort of thing you're interested in. But there's a lot of it talking about the particular crystals. You know, there's twin. And here you go, aqua aura. So aqua aura, there's a whole chaptery bit on aqua aura, including cleansing, the spell. I wanted all aqua aura spell, and I ended up purchasing aqua aura. She also talks here about Herkimer diamond, lavender quartz, lithium quartz, tangerine quartz, Tibetan quartz, and that's it. Yeah. So some unusual quartzes at the back there that weren't perhaps in the first one. And I apologise, I'm trying very hard not to sneeze. The hay fever is going crazy. I'm not going to sneeze. I'm going to hold my nose. So then we have chapter 4, which is special rock mineral foundations. In here there are some which I'm not entirely convinced of, and she does focus on some of these quite a bit from this point on. There's Storolite, the Ferrocross, which is fine, Opal, which is fine, Jade, Unakite, and then there's things like aventurine. I'm not sure that I would have put aventurine in a specialist rock and mineral foundations, but then I don't like aventurine very much. I quite like the pink aventurine, so you know. And then there are spells associated with all of these. So there's ruby and zoisite, septarian nodule, Shivra lingam dedication ritual with the stones, hagstones. Ooh. Yay, hagstones. What else? Oh, and hagstone protection spell and to banish nightmares. Oh, lots of spells for that. That's really great. So I love that there are spells included in here, and obviously it is the book of crystal spells, that should be. But I think, you know, you can when you're doing these sort of things, you can get kind of caught up in the crystals. And so it's really good to see that there are meditation ideas provided, ritual ideas provided, and spell ideas provided. And then more quartz crystal points, gridding, I love gridding. So it talks about numbers, it talks about balance and relationships of crystals. I'm going to show you one that I have never used before, and I'm going to use because I really truly love this idea. I don't think I've seen it anywhere. She calls it the feather grid, using 9 points to create a grid called the feather. Increasing creativity. The longest crystal is the center spine, and the others radiate outwards and upwards along it. This works excellently if your large point is long and narrow. Excellent for sending energy outward. Although, to be honest, you could just reverse the crystal and draw it inward. But I think this would be really wonderful for all sorts of things, not just creativity. So this is the image of that particular grid. There's a sprout one on the other side that you can see, which is a similar idea, but slightly different, more tree-like. So I really love that she's done this. I love that she's included the general pattern, but also like the energy is in arrows to show you how the energy should probably be directed. Oh, and then she does the I can never pronounce Chalcedony, I can never pronounce it. So she talks about agate, rituals connecting for nature. So she has blue lace agate, Montana agate, Rotella agate, jasper, and all the different kinds of jasper. Different types of Chalcedony. Is that Chalcedony? Is that right? And then sixth sense stones for enhancing intuition. So there's a whole chapter devoted to enhancing intuition here. Again, see the crystals that she focuses on here, I would not have picked personally. So we've got, I mean, I like amethyst and chevron amethyst, so I've moved on from those though. Seer stone, black sapphire, lavender quartz. Oh, I tell a lie, all those sound amazing. Herkimer diamond, purple fluorite, no fluorite, no fluorite. Lapis lazuli, apophyllite. I do like apophyllite, azurite, iolite. Oh, I do like all of these. I don't know what I was talking about. Kyanite, kunzite. I thought this was another Aventurin chapter, but it's not. Okay, I take it back. I love all the crystals in here. And then we have crystal rituals and spells for sabbats and esbats. Now, initially I was a bit like, ugh, again, because this is kind of a common thing to find in spell books these days. So the idea of celebrating all the sabbats and esbats and things, but I do sort of tend to include crystals in my sabbats and esbats. But I was really intrigued to see that there's actually a dark moon meditation here. Dark moon sometimes in a lot of places gets kind of ignored. They go for new moon but not dark moon, so I was super happy to see that. And I think with these, oh, there's a sonnet there, they're back in the solstices and things. She actually provides a group and a singular one, so that's kind of nice. Conclusion, pay attention, and yeah, and then there is the appendices, which looks at the stones and metals, gives you images to look at, as it not images in the book, but what to look at physically in the crystals. There aren't any images of crystals like there are in, say, like the Book of Stones or in the Crystal Bible. It's not really about identifying crystals so much as it is assuming that you have an idea and working. I mean, it does have like shapes and things in the back here and descriptions of that. Planetary associations and crystals for each, correspondences for days of the week, stones, incenses and oils. So for example, Wednesday, Mercury, communication, travel, study, Aventurin, no, get away. Mica, lavender, lemongrass and peppermint. And then we have the chakra stones, different crystals for the chakras, which is really nice because, so for example, root chakra colour red. So it's not just giving like the standard crystal, but in fact gives quite a few. So stones for the root chakra: agate, bloodstone, garnet, hello baby, hematite, red jasper, onyx, iridonite, ruby, tiger's eye, tourmaline black. And then what you would do with that, so stimulating life force, energy, vitality, work with the chakra if you need assistance with addiction, diminished sexuality, digestive disorders. This area fosters a connection with nature, linked to reproductive glands, grounding, earth element, resting place of life force, associated with the sense of smell. Well, there you go. Then we have seasonal. Wow, seasonal associations, that's unusual. So autumn, sapphire, topaz and tourmaline. Okay. And then stones by use, so attraction and lust, amber, carnelian and jasper. What, no garnet? I'd use garnet for that, to be honest. Right. So lots and lots and lots and lots of them. Recover lost items, peridot, there you go. And then talking about colour association, so colour magic is in here as well, which I guess makes sense given that you might work with them in a colour variety, and then just the glossary at the very end. I can't remember. Well, it says $16.99 US on the back. I can't remember exactly how much I paid for it. I paid early because I pre-ordered. I paid in October last year, I don't remember. But I do love this book. There aren't many pictures of crystals in there, that is true, and some of the crystals you may not agree with, but I don't think that takes away from the book whatsoever, because basically that just gives you a jumping off point to have a discussion, whether with others or with yourself. And if you really enjoyed this book, the first one, then I highly recommend the second book. It's about the same in, maybe a little bit more in information. It's a little tiny bit thicker, a little tiny bit more information in this one. And it looks nice visually, if you know you want something on your coffee table that looks nice. But it's also really interesting to flip through, and I read the whole thing straight through, but I mean it's a really nice referencey type book as well. So yeah, the second book of Crystal Spells by Ember Grant. I really enjoyed this book. So if you're looking for a crystal book, a crystal ritual book with meditations and spells and things of that nature, I highly recommend these two books to you. Right, I'm going to creep up into the camera now because it's so far away. Many blessings.